Okay, so we're back from the break, and unfortunately, John had to leave us there. It's a bit too late for him to stay up any later. So you have just me and Kyle because apparently we're too fucking hardcore for people to hang out this late at night on a Sunday. Even though Kyle's got to get up early as shit for work tomorrow.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay. Podcasting, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
If we didn't have children, this would be like an afternoon thing. It'd be like, yeah, let's have drinks, let's have mimosas, and have some brunch, you know.
Oh, God, I could go for some brunch.
It'd be great to have some, like, a real meal while doing a podcast. It'd be awesome. You have to hear us listen to us fucking eat. It'd be funny. So, we're going to move into our real audio, fun with real audio segment, and the first guy that we have up for you is Ben Carson. And
yeah, I can't wait.
I'm going to try to let a lot of these speak a little bit longer than we normally do because I realized last episode we go 20 seconds and then blueberries for 30 minutes and then talk for somebody. And I successfully blueberried the left show today, probably about no less than 6 times. It was great. I love taking people off on tangents. This shit's so fun. I go for that nowadays. So, Ben Carson wants to talk to us about gay activists against free speech. And, you know, he's going to equate this to the whole, you know, they're going to try to say that we can't discriminate against them because that's our religious liberty. But if they tell us that we can't do that, that's them saying that they're discriminating us. It's like, dude, do you not fucking understand how this works?
No, he doesn't. He really, honestly, genuinely does not
Presidential
understand.
Candidate.
Well, he's running for president. That doesn't mean he's actually a legitimate
for president.
candidate.
Yeah. So here we go.
Why would a brain surgeon who does not have a law background necessarily, and you're not a constitutional scholar, why write a book on the Constitution?
Good question.
Very good question. And I'm going to go ahead and put money down that says he doesn't actually answer the question, but talks about something completely unrelated.
No, he answers the question. Hang on.
Oh, bullshit.
Because the Constitution was written at an 8th grade level. They specifically wrote it so that the American people could understand it.
Bullshit. Bullshit. They wrote it at the reading level where they were. It was not it was not the average reading level of where everybody was, because a good portion of the population was fucking illiterate.
They thought boiling potatoes would make you ill, or like, no, that's the only way they ate potatoes is by boiling them. Like you had to, they thought that they were poisonous, that you had, if you didn't boil them, it would kill you some way or another.
The reason, if you take the U.S. Constitution and you put it into one of those aggregators that tells you what the reading level is, the reason it comes out at an 8th grade level,
it's an arbitrary fucking assignment for one.
It's mostly arbitrary, but mostly because it's full of short sentences because of the process that it went through. They went through and they arbitrated every single amendment and every single sentence.
Imagine how hot and sweaty it was in that fucking Congress. Oh man. Just go watch 1776. And you just feel the flop sweat on every one of those people's face.
Oh yeah, that was a day and age where filibustering was a real legitimate threat, because it meant everybody had to stay in the room, and they didn't have air conditioning. I don't know if everybody realizes this, but they didn't actually have air conditioning at that point in time.
And they still dressed colonial. So they were like,
so being
4 layers.
So being trapped in a room full of dozens of people in woolen clothes in the middle of summer was not something you took lightly. So when somebody says, I have a problem with this one sentence, I want to take these 5 words out, you start thinking real quick about how important those few words are to you.
Well, and also, for the most part, that's what these people did, because you had to travel to D.C. Well, it wasn't even D.C. at the time, whatever you want to fucking call it. They had to travel. Yes. They had to do this because their shit at home was falling apart because they weren't there. You know, it was an actual sacrifice that these guys actually did to be there in the Congress to do this stuff.
Yeah, so they were there and they had a sense of urgency. They had to get shit done, so they went and did it. So every single argument that came up, everybody went, "Okay, yeah,
Ah.
I'm not really very attached to that. I'm not very attached to that wording. Go ahead and okay, we'll modify this. Sounds good. Okay, perfect. Moving on." So you wind up with kind of fractured sentences.
Yeah. So Ben
Look
Carson.
at oh god, fuck yeah. Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
that wasn't really a blueberry. It was on
No,
top.
it was on topic, but we've got it's a 4-minute video. We're not going to get through the whole thing. Well, maybe we will because we got a pad for time since Felicia's not here. Our blowhard isn't here. No, we love you, Felicia.
Their liberties were and understand what the restraints in the government were. And, a lot of people will say, oh, you have to be a constitutional scholar to understand this. Well, you look at all the people who claim they are constitutional scholars, and look what a mess they've
Thank
created.
you. Absolutely. Include
You mean like our president, who is a constitutional scholar? All these people saying that he's overstepping his fucking bounds are full of shit.
Yeah, no, you don't need to be a constitutional scholar. But
Just have to
it
have
really,
reading comprehension skills.
yeah, it really helps to have not only reading comprehension skills, but a basic understanding of U.S. history.
Yeah.
the Supreme Court.
Yes, especially the Supreme Court, because they need to read the Constitution and see what
Wow.
it says about civil matters and where they should be handled. It says they should be handled at the state level, the local level, where the
No, it doesn't.
Just falsehood
No, it
after
doesn't.
falsehood after falsehood coming from this guy.
No, it doesn't. The Constitution doesn't say anything about
Civil matters.
civil matters being handled at the state level.
Front runner. Well, actually, he's like third up right now.
Oh no, he's
fourth.
he's like way back there now.
He was second. He was fucking second, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm a creationist."
It wasn't even just that. He went like full on batshit, and everyone went whoa.
Whoa! Especially I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the news about him calling out the dumbest kid in the
Yeah.
class this week? For those
Yeah.
that might not know, I think it could have been Alabama. I don't know, only because it's funnier that way. He called out in a public school. He's like, "So you guys are in class here. Who's the dumbest kid in your class?" And the kids in the class actually pointed out like this one kid, and he could have went about it in a different way. I mean, always you can go about things in a different way, but he was probably doing it to like show to everybody, look, I was a terrible student as well, and look at me, I got to be a brain surgeon. Now I'm running for president. Woohoo! Look at me.
Look at me. I was the dumbest kid in my class too.
And so I heard that he had like a backstage with the kid, and the kid wasn't even upset. That's how dumb he was. He wasn't upset by it.
Yeah.
So let's let him
Yeah.
finish.
over the lawmakers.
For the people, by the people.
You got it.
And let's talk about a few of those. What is your stance, for example, on right to speech? As a minister, it's almost like I feel an undercurrent coming more and more that if you speak the truth in love about a true conviction of Scripture, it's a matter of time, it seems like, before you will be labeled with hate speech.
Right.
Okay, if the speech that you're giving is hate, it is hate speech.
Yeah.
If your scriptures tell you to hate gay people or stone them to death or whatever the fuck these scriptures tell you to do, that is hate speech. I don't care how
Yeah.
true in your heart you know it to be true, and you have a good little buzzing around in your dick hole about this kind of thing. Doesn't matter. If it's against a certain subset of people, no matter how minuscule or massive, it is hate speech.
Yeah. That's kind of one of I love that topic came up while they were talking about the Constitution as well.
It's like shouting fire in a fucking theater. That ends
Yeah.
your First Amendment rights because you could have caused massive harm to somebody.
Yeah. I mean the same document that essentially more or less says we do not give the smallest amount of fucks about
Your religion.
what your religion is or says because we are stepping back. We are stepping away from that.
I want to start prefacing everything that I say with as a mundane expression of what I am. as a man, or or like as an IT professional, I think that tampons should be thrown in the garbage and not flushed in the toilet. Be like, yeah, great, yay, hooray! That one thing is completely germane to the next thing.
Yes. As a pastor, I'm afraid they're going to start coming after me for telling people to stone the gays.
As a pastor, I think that people are going to start not listening to the wacko bullshit from 3,000 years ago. Especially because, well, it's not even 3,000, it's like 1,500 years ago. Or not even that far. Oh, the fucking King James is only like, what, 400 years old? 500 years old?
Yeah, it's around there somewhere from the Renaissance.
And so you have that version of the Bible, but, if you guys ever really want to do any really interesting homework whenever you're listening to the show, go and look back at books that predate the Bible, holy books. And especially stuff that you're going to find in like the Zoroastrians, the Egyptians, and who else am I thinking of here? The people in India. There's a lot of fucking parallels in those holy books to the stuff that you got in the Old Testament. Gee, I wonder why.
A few. Yeah.
Could be that somebody was borrowing some shit. Could be.
Kind of, maybe. Let's just take some of these common myths that are traveling around, in an oral tradition and write them down.
Because everybody had a flood myth back then. Because the most of humanity was centered around these old ass fucking places that everybody used to live.
That frequently flooded because they were by rivers.
Yeah, multiple rivers, and shit was a lot more green and lush back then. Man, okay.
Right. For standing, for example, for a marriage being between a man and a woman.
Absolutely.
I don't give a shit what your opinion is. I honestly don't.
I don't know.
And most gay couples would be like, "Fuck you! If you don't want us don't think we should get married, go fuck yourself." The Supreme Court says otherwise.
Yeah,
they won't even waste their energy anymore. Like we got what we were looking for. We got equal rights.
Mm-hmm.
Go fuck yourself, and they walk away happily, arm in arm, kissing, rubbing each other. Great.
We don't care. Say what you want to say, but as long as you don't actually try to infringe upon our rights, we don't care. No one cares.
Be as wacky religious as you want to be.
Say whatever you want to say, as long as it is not infringing upon other people's lives. And it's not going to be labeled hate speech unless you are actually directing
Inciting,
it at other people.
Yeah.
Inciting. For example, going and doing this in a public place directed at a group of people.
Man, I don't understand. I don't understand these people sometimes. Fucking hell.
Well, no, it's really basic. It's really, really basic stuff.
Okay, let's move into some more.
The way it works now is they target you, and they have all kind of hate speech, ridicule. If there's a way that they can bring action against you, they will do that, try to ruin your life. Look at all the people, who because of their religious convictions and their belief in what the Bible says, have lost their livelihood and been put in jeopardy over the gay marriage issue.
Right.
When in fact...
As if inciting what the Bible. So I love that high inflection that he gave there. People that believe in what the Bible says, like that's an authority somehow. These people honestly believe that every word in the Bible is God breathed, or
I don't know how. When
you could go to them with the history of their own book, like, dude, look, Council of Trent, Council of Nicaea, they put the books together. Yeah. We know this was not written by the apostle. This was written by somebody else that took the story from another apostle's, whatever we want to call it, and they built off of it like, yeah, that didn't quite work for this area, so we're going to change it up a little bit so it sells well in this country.
we know there are parts they specifically looked at and went, this makes no sense. This has nothing to do with what we're doing, so we're just leaving this out. We're just
and on Tuesdays,
scrapping this part.
Kyle and X shall do blueberries.
Blueberries.
So
Blueberries, you say?
blueberries. I think I'm fucking done with Ben Carson. We've been at this for 15 minutes, and he hasn't
really?
gotten anywhere.
Jeez. Well, yeah. Has he gotten close to a point? How many more minutes does he have left to
There's
finish?
like 2 more minutes in this clip, and if you really want to go watch it, go to Right Wing Blog. They've got it out there. RWW Blog. Just go to YouTube, find it there. Because I honestly am done because he can't. It's exactly like on the fucking debates. He cannot get to a point.
No,
At least Donald Trump is quick to say racist and horrible shit, but he's quick to say it.
How did
the fence that
anybody?
we're building is gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna put my name on it. It's gonna be gold. Like great, Don. At least you're saying shit.
Oh, speaking of blueberries, if anybody's really, really interested, Rachel Maddow did a great, absolutely perfect comparison between Donald Trump and George Wallace.
Wow.
And it is amazing. I mean, not even just, she didn't even really so much do a direct parallel between the two, but more, look, here are the campaign speeches from George Wallace. Here are the speeches from Donald Trump. They sound really,
They're about
really,
the same here.
They sound really close. That's good. That's worth looking for and watching if anyone's curious.